Live and
we
direct.
ball.
All right. We're going it. We're doing it. All right, guys. We're live and direct here. The Audio Addiction HQ. We got Highwind back on the channel. This is about, I think, as quick of a turnaround if I've ever seen it here on the channel. So the guys can say their names, what they do in said band. I already said their band's Highwind, so I'm gonna
Yes,
reiterate
that is our
myself.
band.
And then, guys, what do you do in the band? What are we doing?
My name is Chris. I play guitar and sing and songwrite for Highwind.
My name is Dan, and I got a haircut, and I play the drums.
You did get a haircut,
And he drives the bus.
And I drive the van.
He does drive the van. Wow, we're just living up life here, guys.
We're multi-talented human beings doing multi-talented band things.
Well, guys, thanks for coming back on. I know we briefly alluded to it in said interview, which, guys, you should go check out because it's also great. We had a great time there.
Yeah, we did.
I am very excited because all I've listened to was the singles, and, you know, I have not listened to any of the other songs on the record. So this is all going to be
Oh, that's right.
fresh.
You said you wanted to wait for
This is going to be fresh.
be right here, right now. We're getting your
Fresh.
live reaction to this. That's
Live
right.
reaction.
I forgot about that. All
Super
right. Wow,
clean.
you really committed to the bit.
It is not a bit, Chris. This is for real. This is like
It's a lifestyle.
this is like the Highwind virginity right now. You know, it's gonna be gone. You know, I'm gonna go ascend to greatness after this.
That makes one of us.
Oh my god.
But I have not listened to this in the event that I was going to have you guys on to talk about the record. I wanted to kind of talk about a few things before obviously we get into the songs, and everybody here that are joining the live, you know, make sure to go listen to the record. I left their link tree in the description, so go give it some love there. But
Love and appreciate you. Thank you.
no problem. And I know we kind of talked about it a little bit in regards to, you know, when we were doing the interview about the record, you know, and this was, I think we actually recorded it on the day that it was going to come out, like that same moment. Now that it's been out for, I think, a little over almost 2 weeks, I want to guess, right? Like
No,
a little.
it's been a month
About
and a
a month
half.
now.
Oh, really?
About a month now.
Wow. All right.
A little over a month. Yeah.
How has the reception been of the record? I know that like I said, I know that everybody has been excited for its release, including myself. But you know, how has it been? How's the like fan reactions been? Have they been, you know, how do you guys feel like the record's been responsive wise?
People have been digging it. I mean, with the newer pop sound we've been going for, people have really adapted to it. People have been or from what we've seen, you know, online and at shows, people
Sure.
have really been enjoying the pop sound, and they've been having fun with it. You know, they're relating or empathizing with, depending on, you know, the person in question, some
Sure.
of the slower, more emotional songs, and they've been partying with the fast songs. It's been fun. It's been really cool to see people enjoy this product we put so much time and effort into.
Certainly. Dan?
Yeah, the shows have been really playing to, you know, like it's hard being a DIY band, you know, but I think all of our shows we played well and everybody really enjoyed it, and there was no shortage of smiles and dancing, and I mean, you know, what else?
Yeah, you guys recently went on tour as well, so I'm sure, like, you know, obviously doing that and having, you know, having the live reaction of, like, you know, having the record out, listening to it, people are able to obviously, I imagine, pick it up and stuff. It must have been a really cool feeling, and excited to see where you guys go next. Certainly, I hope you hit the Philadelphia neck of the woods soon, because I think I missed out on you the last time. I had some, like, some issues at home here, so I wasn't able to come out. But
Do we have some good news for you?
Ooh, all right. I'm waiting for it.
I think it's announced August 3rd. We're gonna play the Pharmacy in Philly.
Yes, we're playing with our friends and
All
Keep Your Secrets, and we're very excited about it.
All right, let's go. Very excited. I'm gonna have to block
send
out
you a
my
flyer.
calendar. I'm gonna block out my
Do
calendar for
it.
you guys. Dan, I also don't know if you can turn your volume up on your microphone just a smidgy, because you're a little
smidgen?
low.
How's that?
Oh, you can go actually probably even a little higher. Actually.
How's that?
Oh, that's great.
Ooh,
Full
that's
effect,
Alright.
Dan.
ready.
We got Dan in
Cool.
the full effect right now. Um,
Yeah,
which I'm very
my volume knob is also like a gain knob, so I'm like kind of hesitant to crank it too
crank
hard.
it
But,
too much. You know, you
yeah,
can't
but
crank the
now
hogs too much.
we're cranking now, though. All right.
The next question I have for you guys, collectively, you know, obviously with the album being out, we're gonna listen to all the songs. You know, I imagine it's like, you know, your favorite child. You don't have a favorite, but what song kind of are you most attached to? Whether it be, you know, playing it live or just like, you know, lyrically, you know, musically, you know, what song do you feel like resonates with you the most out of the entire record?
Be honest with you, I think it's Sugar. It's between Sugar and Fine for You. Those were
Okay.
the songs that, you know, when I was writing them, when we were recording them, when we play them live, like they feel the best to me. Lyrically, I put a lot of heart into those. I tried something new with both those songs. I feel like I put, not that I didn't put the most of me into this whole record, but something special came out of those two songs. So I'd say those are the top two that resonate with me the most.
Okay, Dan.
I didn't really have a. I don't think I had any part in the lyric writing because I wasn't officially in the band when we recorded this. I was
Correct.
still like being sourced out. But
Sourced out.
yeah. But I think I'm gonna go with "Hung Up."
Ooh, okay.
That was the song that I kind of like left my mark on, um, especially with the middle section. And "Will You Please" has a special place in my heart. It was the first song I recorded with Chris, so
Ooh,
those two
all
are
right.
probably the. I know you asked for one, but those are like the two.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the divergence. You know, I'm excited to listen to all of it. The one that caught my eye, just going through the track list, I'm very excited to listen to the one with Flight Club. Shoutouts to the homies. I love those
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
very
to the
dearly.
homies.
That's a fun song.
So I'm curious how that one's gonna sound. Again, guys, if you are unfamiliar with this whole track by track series, I've only listened to the singles, and that wasn't. I mean, the intention was just to listen to them because I like them, and obviously to support Highwind. But now that the album is out, and I haven't listened to any of them, and honestly, I probably haven't listened to Sugar or Hung Up in a little bit. So this is
That's
all gonna be
fine.
this is all gonna be very fresh, very new. You know, so very
Let us
excited to
dive
let
in.
us dive in. As Chris says, we're gonna get into the first song, the title track, or not title track, but the song to start off the record, "Sugar." Had a few questions before we delve in. How, in comparison to like all of the songs on the record, was this one of the first initial songs, you know, in the writing process, or was this kind of like middle towards the end? Where was this one kind of
That's such a hard question to answer because like this album was so spread out in the quote unquote writing process. Like Harmony, the last track on the album, is like a 4-year-old song. Will You Please was written and recorded before the album was a thought process. Like all of these songs just kind of happened. Like I think Fine For You was written right before Sugar. Hung Up was written way later down the road. Like none of these songs were written like together. They just kind of happened. Search Without Sight too. Like it just kind of happened one day. Like I sat there with my acoustic guitar in hand and just wrote. So like sure, I guess to be technical, Sugar was like halfway through the writing process, quote
Okay.
unquote. But also again, like Harmony's a 4-year-old song. Will You Please was a single before the album came out. So
Dan, you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, they were kind of like written in batches, where like
Okay.
he said, Harmony was an old idea. Will You Please was recorded way like a year before. You know, Jaded not only features Flight Club but was co-written with Charlie.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Yeah, so like that had its own demo session. But I think All's End, Hung Up, and Sugar were kind of like starting to materialize around the same time. And like he said, Search Without Sight, I think Chris sent me the demo maybe 2 weeks max before we went into the studio.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
yep.
So they're all kind of spread out. Very excited. I did not know
They are
Harmony
their
was.
own unique pieces of art. That is the best way to explain these. They are their own unique
100%.
pieces of art.
There we go. Well, we're gonna delve into each individual piece of art on this live track by track. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. I'm very excited to re-listen to some of these songs and get acquainted with some of the newer ones. So we're gonna start off with the first track, which is Sugar. Guys, we're gonna kick that off in 3, 2, 1.
The taste that falls right off your lips. I'm the contrasting sweet. You
Kind of
have
Van
desires
Camino-ish.
that I can't meet. I wonder, am I a favorite, a flavor of the week, or something right in between? I have to know, is there room for me to breathe?
Thank you.
I liked it. Nice.
I'm a sucker for romance in the sheets and what you see on TV. But I guess that's not quite what I need. I think I'm ready for it. I'm never ready for it. You're turning sour and I'm begging for a sweeter fix. I shouldn't drag it out. No, I can't drag it out. I'm getting sick of this. You treat me like sugar, you love me, you crave me. I'm always in arm's reach, yeah, I answer please. You treat me like sugar, your favorite candy, but you're no good for me, a rotten daydream. You treat me like, you treat me like, you treat me like, you treat me like, you treat me like.
Nice synth. Little build up here.
You treat me like. You treat me like. You treat me like. You treat me like. You treat me like sugar. You love me, you crazy. I'm always in arm's reach. Yeah, I answer please. You treat me like sugar, your favorite candy, but you're no good for me, a rotten daydream. You treat me like sugar. 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 Treat me like sugar. You treat me like sugar. You treat me like sugar. You treat me like
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, that song was Sugar off of the newest record from Highwind, Something Right in Between. This one's I just want to say, after not listening to it for a little bit and coming back to it, refinding the roots in Sugar, I dig this one a ton. I love the sort of like poppy etherealness it's got going on there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The chorus is super catchy. I think that was like probably my favorite part, other than some of the some of like the rhythmic stops where like you think the song is gonna kind of like continue on, then you kind of hit like pull back a little bit and then you come back into it. I thought that was really neat. This song to me feels like one I have to experience live. Like there's certain songs when you like listen to it, you're like, man, the live aspect of this song must be like chef's kiss. And I feel like this one I feel like in my head, I feel like it's got to be like one of those songs that just rips live.
Thank you. I think the cool thing about it too is when we played it for our album release show, like people were just singing that chorus and screaming that chorus back to us. Like I'm sitting there on stage like bawling my eyes out because I'm so happy and so proud of what we've done, as a band. And these people are just screaming the lyrics. Like it's a party when we do this live. It's so much fun every time.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great way to stay in shape.
You definitely get your workout. Yeah, certainly.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, Highwind is the only band I've ever played for where I don't break a sweat live.
Oh wow!
But I think that's just because of the threshold of music that I played prior was so intense that Highwind is just it's a cool breeze
just
when
chill.
I'm playing.
Yeah, you're just like vibing. I feel that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't work hard and I don't groove.
You do groove.
But yeah,
Groove Master Dan.
No, yeah, it was what was kind of neat about the track coming together is we had everything written for the song except the synths. Every layer you heard, all the melodies, like everything we got in there, and I think we had full intentions of doing like like a regular like rock song, like rock pop song.
Yeah.
And Connor Hansen was like, "We're gonna hit the arpeggiator on the synth, and it's just gonna go, and you're gonna love it." And then we did.
It does sound
amazing.
Great. It does sound great.
Well,
yeah.
And we ended up not tracking. There's no real bass on that song. It's all synth and sub bass, which is
most of the album is synth and sub bass, which is really cool. Which is very different for us.
Yeah, no, certainly. And I imagine that aspect is like further taken out, in terms of playing live and going through that, because obviously you have probably a live bass player that does that sort of stuff. So very excited to listen to it live. I feel like comparatively when I have people on to do this, it's always cool to obviously get your guys' perspective of the record, but I feel like if anything it makes me want to see it live more so than anything else, because like there's probably some songs that sound great here but might be like more expansive or more thought out in the more live setting of things. So very excited about this. It does give me, I don't know if you heard it, but it does give me that sort of like Band Camino-ish, like
my entire heart and soul right there.
Two-Door Cinema Club kind of vibes going on here.
You're speaking Chris's language.
I know, I am.
Literally all I've been listening to for the past 2 weeks is the Tourist History record. And we saw the Band Camino live literally the other day.
On Saturday or Friday we saw Band Camino at Starland.
Nice,
it was good.
yeah.
It was a good show.
My friend CJ went up there to go see them, so
they made us sweat. They played 19 songs and then finally played Daphne Blue.
We're so good.
You were like on the edge of your seat, Dan. You were like,
I thought they were gonna open with it just because the riff is so hard.
Oh yeah.
And they opened with like I don't remember what song they opened with, but it was like a more like down song, and I was like, this is a weird opener.
Sure. But
they rock. Their stage setup is cool too. But we're not talking about the Band Camino. We're talking about Highwind.
That's true. You're right. But we did go incredibly off topic. But you should go check out. I mean, listen, Band Camino, Highwind. I'm just putting that out there. I feel like that would be
put it in the universe, bro.
Put it out in the universe. I'm waiting. I have my credit card ready to purchase every ticket. No, I would be in debt pretty much. But in terms of Sugar, from sort of the like demo stages to the final product, was there a lot of variation in terms of that change? But I know Dan kind of talked about it in terms of just like, having the arpeggiated synth on there, but from like, ground floor to, penthouse, was there any sort of different, changes on the song?
I mean, as I was demoing, I was changing up the structure little by little, kind of like shortening the song, making it a little tighter.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I brought it to Dan, It was his idea to bring those false starts and those stops in towards the end and give people, a sense of, suspense and a bit of dynamic into the song, which is really cool. And then when we got to the studio with Connor, it was his idea to do the 16th note on the hi-hat for the first two choruses. He threw in all the layers of synth to give it a more pop, floaty kind of feel.
Yeah.
Structurally, the song isn't too different from
Okay.
where the demo was. If at all, it's really not structurally different.
You
But
trimmed
musically,
you trimmed a pre-chorus, but like, who's counting?
that's about it. Exactly. Who's counting the 16 bars I dropped or whatever? The 16
Yeah.
beats or some garbage.
Nobody needs to know.
Exactly. They're never
Except
gonna
for
know.
now
They're
they
never
know.
gonna know.
Now literally everybody knows.
Now everybody.
What are you talking about?
I mean, this
No,
is
but yeah.
live, Chris. So they
What
do
are you
know.
talking about? What are you talking about?
All right. Well,
I'm not even here right now. I'm a
Chris
figment
is
of your
ask-
imagination.
Chris is just trying to gaslight me right now. I know what I heard, Chris. All right.
Yeah. The truth is the truth.
The truth is
Oh my
gonna
God.
be
The truth is in the next track. I'll tell you that much.
Let's go.
Well, very excited about that one. But Chris, lyrically, what were you drawing from with Sugar?
That's a really good question. I mean, the song in and of itself is about it's a pop. Okay. The song in and of itself has this sweet candy-coated face of music, but lyrically it's about like, being treated like garbage by an abusive ex or manipulative ex, how they only come to you when they want or need something from you, and when it comes time for you, there's nothing for you and you need to get out of there because they just treat you like a piece of candy because, they only crave you when they want something from you. So that's really what the song is lyrically about. And it was very interesting to take that kind of, that relieving message of, hey, I got out of that, and put this really Katy Perry, Taylor Swift kind of pop tune to
Yeah.
it,
And it's like, it's very like, sugary, no pun intended, sugary kind of pop track. Yeah.
It is sugar-coated pop music in the best way,
Certainly.
and I'm so proud of it. So the more you call it that, the happier it makes me.
It does felt like, it does have that sort of like, again, that kind of like radio kind of quality to it that I was like, all right, I know what they're doing here, like, and then lyrically I kind of like looked at some of the lyrics and I was like, all right, well, it's that dichotomy of like the song being like real sweet and sugary, and then the lyrics are like, like something bitter or like, disgusting.
It's all about those flavor senses.
Listen, I'm all about it here. We're basically the Food Network here at Audio Addiction. So I mean, anytime we can bring, anytime we can take it to Flavor Town, we're doing it. So
Let's fucking go.
I knew Dan was onto that, but very excited about this one. This one is a great track, guys. Again, links in the description for the entire record. Go give it a listen, or you can listen along with us if you're watching this live right now.
Now.
Very cool. We're gonna move it on to the second track, which is "Hung Up," and this one features Saint Germain. I'm pretty sure I butchered that.
El Saint Germain. No, you got it right. El Saint Germain.
El Saint Germain.
They are a lovely human being. Yes, absolutely.
How did that come to be? Like the feature, was that before or after the song was kind of more formulated? I'm just curious how that process kind of came to be.
So, Elle used to sing in a band called Lilac Queen. Lilac Queen is no longer a thing. When Elle was in Lilac Queen, I hit them up and was like, hey, I need a guest vocal part for this song. How do you feel about doing the guest vocal part? And they were super stoked about it. I gave them the song. They recorded the part a couple of months later as like, the demo kind of deal.
Sure.
We recorded the actual song. I sent them the thing. They sent me their part back, and it was awesome. I'd been friends with Elle for a hot minute, and I knew I wanted to collaborate with them. And they said, yeah, this is something I'd love to do. I'll make it happen for you. Don't you worry about it. And I was super happy with the final product because their voice is absolutely amazing.
Can't agree. I thought I saw obviously the name as a feature, and I was like, man, I was like, this person I've never heard of before, but I'm gonna give it a listen. And I obviously listened to Hung Up because shout outs to our friend Chris Kunchak. He is the one who did the lovely music video.
Chris Kunchak, the man, the myth, the legend.
We love Chris here. We love Chris. And I was like, man, I should give this a listen because obviously Chris reposted it, and also, not to get confused, also Chris Highwind also posted it. and I was like, all right, let me give this one a spin. And I was like, all right, this is sick. And then when L came in, I was like, all right, this is even better. I don't know how it got better, but it did. So I was very excited to listen to this one. And so obviously, guys, we're going to listen to Hung Up right now. So you guys can also be absolutely floored on this track. So we're going to kick it into Hung Up in 3, 2, 1.
You make your way down to my throat. I breathe your air into my lungs. You're attractive like a fire to a forest burning faster. I'm hung up and I can't get enough. Get enough. You walk straight to me. I can't see through you. Your stare is threatening. I don't know what to do. You got me feeling just a little fucking cynical. And I can't take it 'cause I'm being hypocritical. You're coming closer with your wild and dangerous eyes. And I can't get enough. When I'm with you, we come alive. I dream of you right through the night. It's a chemical reaction that you love but just can't have it. You're hung up and you can't get enough. You walk straight to me. I can't see through you. Your stare is threatening. I don't know what to do. You got me feeling just a little fucking cynical. And I can't take it 'cause I'm being hypocritical. You're coming closer with your wild and dangerous eyes. And I can't get enough. You make your
That's the
way
idea.
down to my throat.
I forgot you guys changed it up in the bridge. That was super sick.
I breathe your air into my lungs. You're attractive like a fire to a forest burning faster. I'm hung up and I can't get enough. Get enough. You walk straight to me. I can't see through you. Your stare is threatening. I don't know what to do. You got me feeling just a little fucking cynical. And I can't take it 'cause I'm being hypocritical. You're coming closer with your wild and dangerous eyes. And I can't get enough.
All right, guys. If you just tuned in, this is track number 2 on Something Right in Between. It's called Hung Up, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
I forgot how much I love this one as well. We just forgetting out here at Audio Addiction headquarters here. But this one, I think I might even like more than Sugar. I was like,
Okay.
I was vibing with Sugar, but man, this one might be climbing the ranks here.
All right.
I like that
I
guitar,
respect it.
that gritty guitar intro. That was, as being a guitar player myself, really dug the effects on that. L did a fantastic job in that second verse section there. And I just thought like if anything, like the chorus is again much like Sugar was super solid. I think it really ties the song together, and then the bridge is what kind of threw me off the most, which was like kind of just like this real like very like open kind of ethereal space going on there, and then
The trap beat.
beat,
You know you love the trap beat.
like the little hi-hat trap, stop there, and then on top of that, I can't tell if your voice is Chris's voice is being auto-tuned or like vocated, if that's a word.
No.
Automation.
Automation,
Vocoding is a form of automation. So,
Yeah, it's all the
this-
same thing. You're right.
Kind
this
of-
track, I think, in terms of composition, is the most dense.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it comes to like subtle changes. Things are just changing and adding a little bit each time. Like the drum fills that bridge the first half to the second half of the chorus, they get a little bit longer, a little bit more complicated, or they add
Yeah.
a couple of notes. In the last chorus, you have that it's either I think it's 2 or 4 measures of cut time. Where we kind of just hang on that syncopated rhythm. Before though, in the intro, when you said, like what's your favorite song, and I said this was the song that I got to leave my mark on. That whole trap section was my idea, and I remember getting the first mix back, and I texted Chris, and I was like, more automation. I was like, you need to sound like T-Pain.
He really was.
And Connor, our engineer, was a little bit like, he was suspicious, like he didn't bite. And then when he did it and heard it, he texted me, he goes, "Yo, you were right." And I was like, right
You're
on.
damn right. No,
Let's
kidding.
go.
Right
Let's
on,
go.
dude.
Let's go. But yeah, I don't know. I think just like when it comes to songwriting in general, like I think it's really important to just keep the listener engaged the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's also really important to provide information to the listener's brain that is something that they can come back to, which is why we always go back to
Yeah.
Also, huge fan of any song that closes with the riff that it starts with.
Oh, big facts. Big facts.
Instant sell. Instant like.
Yeah.
If-
Instant like, let me buy this shit right now.
Yeah.
This one was really cool, and even synth wise, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Bill Murray-esque stuff, like he always adds those,
Oh, that's a
he
first.
adds a little
That's a
sprinkle, especially some of the like more like especially more along the lines with some of the synth stuff. I can think like of some of the songs that he's done, where I'm like, okay, this synth part kind of has that like Bill Murray feel to it, as being a large Bill Murray stan, about, I'm a Hog Nation fan here.
We out here cranking our hogs, baby.
We're out here cranking the hogs, so it definitely gave me a little bit of that vibe. So I was, pleasantly surprised with that one.
Yeah, and another like immediate huge difference between like this and Sugar is that the synths for this song were more texture motivated, where
big
in
facts.
the other
Yeah.
song the synth is a bass, but it also carries other voicings in the song. For any of my music nerds out there, I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about a lot of the music nerd stuff tonight. And it carries like the voicings throughout the rest of the songs and provides melodic and harmonic support, while the synths in this song are providing mostly harmonic support, especially in the chorus when they're kind of just flatlined underneath Chris's vocals, and it just Connor
It just
nailed the
hits.
mix.
It
for
just
sure.
hits. Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
I did I feel like this is a song where the more times you listen to it, the more stuff you can pull out of it, especially if you're like Dan said, as much as you're a huge music nerd, I feel like you're going to be able to pick out different textures, different things that you might not have heard initially listening to the song. I got to give props to Chris, that falsetto in the chorus,
Thank you.
that was
Delicious.
something unexpected,
Thank you.
because I've seen Chris play shows, and I know he's got more of that grittier tone to his voice, in previous bands that he was in, and seeing him live, to see him kind of evolve your musical prowess. I think you really kind of just took this one to a next level. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This one's, gonna is at number 1 right now. Can be dethroned because I have not listened to some of the other songs that we're gonna be getting into. So I have high hopes this will stay, relatively close to the top. But, I wouldn't mind if it got dethroned. You know what I'm saying? So
Fair enough. I respect it.
Hey.
I respect it.
Chris, lyrically, where did you delve from with this one? You kind of alluded to it in Sugar, but I'm curious where you're pulling the inspiration from lyrically here.
So the album in and of itself, with the way it's like the track list is laid out, and I have Dan to thank for helping with the track listing of this. While Sugar is about leaving the relationship, Hung Up is about craving someone that you can't have. Sugar is, wanting to run away from the thing that hurts you the most, and then Hung Up is the exact opposite feeling of wanting to run to something that you shouldn't be with, that you can't have, but you're dying to have that feeling of that someone be with you, You're dying for that attraction, that affection, all the things that dangerous person comes with that you want, that you shouldn't and can't have. So Hung Up is kind of like the partner track to Sugar, if you will.
Ooh, okay.
And you'll see that a lot throughout the rest of the album.
I do like that you have like this, lyrically, and probably also even in the more dynamic sections too. Like thus far with the 2 singles that I've listened to, on the first 2 songs off this record, like I do like the lyrical dichotomy of like, okay, Sugar, as you mentioned, is very like, sugary, very like poppy, and then lyrically it's very like, dense. And I feel like same with Hung Up, but like done in a different manner that kind of is very complimentary to Sugar. So
thank you.
Thus far the track listing has been on point, courtesy of Dan. So big ups to Dan. Brittany has commented. She said, I literally hear something new I love each time I hear the song. So that's big facts. I'm gonna have to come back.
Appreciate you, Britt. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to come back and listen to this one again post stream, and just pick out like the tiniest smidge of things. So very exciting. We're gonna get into the third track, guys, which is Fine for You. I don't believe I listened to this one, so I'm very excited to be enamored by the newness, So we're gonna get into track number 3, guys. Fine for You in 3, 2, 1.
I swear I have the best intentions. My heart is tried and true. Far from a shade of golden.
This is completely different.
Tell me why am I stretching myself? Did it try to be of some help? Perfectly fine, I'm just a person always out of the shell. Maybe I should try something new. Change my whole field of view. Then I'll be good for you. Oh.
Ooh, I like that lead. Nice acoustics. All right.
I have the best intentions. My heart is tried and true. Far from the shade of golden. Hope silver's fine for you. Oh, tell me why am I stretching myself? Did it try to be of some help? Perfectly fine, I'm just a person always out of the shell. Maybe I should try something new. Change my whole field of view. Then I'll be good for you.
Cool. All right. All right, guys, if you just tuned in, this was track number 3 called Fine For You off of Highwind's newest record, Something Right In Between. Links below. This one was vastly different than I think I was expecting it to be. Something that kind of got me like into the vibes of the song was just like I liked that everything felt really like, this is weird to say, it felt very natural, like, you know, it felt very like, you know, vibey, kind of like open. The synths were really cool. I think kind of like, as Dan's been alluding to, I feel like the synths kind of play multiple roles in like either whether it be like more of the backbone of the song, or they kind of more, you know, have like some accenting kind of vibes going on here.
All about dynamics. It's all about dynamics.
You know, I gotta give a shout out to Connor, your producer, because I feel like he really did a great job of kind of, you know, making sure that everything sticks out, you know, in a way that, you know, obviously makes sense in the context of the song, but also I think like even kind of in Hung Up, where, you know, there's little different textures that maybe you don't notice upon first listen, but, you know, the more you kind of get immersed in the song, there's more things that kind of like, you know, come out of the fold. So I felt like this one, upon first listen, I wasn't really like vibing with, but I feel like this is the type of song that if I listen to it more, I feel like I'm going to be like more invested with it collectively. It just felt like maybe this is like a grower. I always have like, there's always got to be like one song that I feel like upon first listen that you like are like, I don't like, you know, I'm not really sure where they're going with this one, but then like after you give it more listens, you're like,
here's the thing together with Fine For You. Like it's a rainy day song. Like, to be honest, with
big
ourselves.
facts.
Like it's not the sugar dancey pop. It's not the Hung Up All American Rejects wannabe. Like, Fine For You is a song that, you know, I'm blatantly in my feels about wanting to be good enough for someone. Here I am presenting myself to the world, saying, "Hey, this is what I have to hope it's good enough for you." You know, while pianos and a somber guitar lead are all playing. Like, yeah, like it's not for everyone, and I get that. But also, this was the song that I feel like I needed to put out just for my own therapeutic sake. So.
Sure, no, I mean, it is beautifully crafted. I will say,
Thank you.
that much. Like the acoustic guitars, like the leads with like the different effects on it. You know, the drumming is, you know, super well done. So shout outs to Dan, my guy. That was really well done, and I think that if anything, the thing that I think I was missing the most out of this song was just kind of like maybe like more of a push towards that like last chorus, kind of like, you know how like, you know, even bands that I think about when I'm listening to this song were like a Dashboard Confessional kind of vibe, you know, where I thought for sure that there was gonna be more of a like last minute like push towards the end, where like it was gonna kind of like just like be all encompassing. But I mean, not every song has to be that way, certainly, but I was like, man, I was like hoping for just like Chris to just go like, you know, full ham on this. Yeah, you know, I thought he was just gonna let the emotions like, you know, foster over, you know. So I don't know, maybe that's me.
I respect it. I respect the opinion. I respect you, the way you would have gone with it creatively. I don't know. I just feel like with the kind of song we want it to be, there was a need to push it 110%. Like, the song was sitting where it was emotionally.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Like on one hand, I completely understand where you're coming from and I can see it, but also like, I don't know, the time, place, and mood just didn't call for it in my personal opinion.
Fair enough.
So this is probably the song that changed the most production too.
Okay.
So if you follow along with me here, like we started with the snare drum bit and the vocals and the chords and stuff.
Yeah.
Originally we hit the stop, and I just went right into the groove for the second verse with the hi-hat.
Okay.
And that big section with the guitar lead and stuff wasn't until later in the song.
Oh wow. Okay.
To try and give you that large crescendo to that push. But Connor said we kind of need a moment in the beginning of the song. Like we built up to something and then like kind of like never resolved the sentence that we were
yeah.
or the statement that we were making. So by putting that big section earlier, we were able to come back down and then bring it back up.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can see where that's coming from. All right.
Production wise, this is also this was recorded in a separate session 5 or 6 months prior to the rest of the album being recorded.
Oh wow.
It was on a different drum kit. The drum kit was in a different position in the room. There are a lot of different factors that go into like how this song was made. Like we actually recorded the intro with the snare drum and the bass drum separately, so that when we did the snare drum, we just had like the room mics and we could kind of just compress it and like shove it around wherever we needed to. But the bass drum was still there, like right in your face to kind of like keep the heartbeat going.
Yeah, keeping going. Yeah. The energy.
Yeah, and then Chris and Connor just like workshopped a bunch of synths, and I think the live piano was a last minute call, where not like a last minute call, but it was like at the end of the session. It's like, hey, let's track this so that we have it. And it ended up
That's a good
just
move.
it. There's definitely like a character. Like I've heard other Connor Hansen recordings, and specifically "Sodas in the Freezer" by Flycatcher comes to mind. And I was like, that's Connor Hansen's piano. Like, I just knew immediately. And it sounds great. My favorite part of this song is the delivery and the performance of the vocals.
Yeah.
I feel
can
on
agree
this
with
song
that.
like I get the most like Chris Russo saying I'm second best kind of thing. And I don't know, it's one of those songs that like strikes with me.
Fair enough.
And
yeah.
also, you said you wanted a big ending. You got to come see it live.
Ooh.
Yes.
You got to come see it
Alright.
live.
That's the thing too. Like the cool thing about this song is that it translates so differently both on the record and live. And I feel like that gives each experience its own unique texture, its own unique flavor, its own unique character.
Yeah.
Fair
So like
enough.
if people want to just sit there and kind of either grieve or come to terms with something, the record is there. If people need to cry it out and just let the feeling out, the live version is there. So it's cool. Like the song is a very cool dynamic that came about very naturally. I'm very happy with the end product because of how differently it can affect people depending on who you are and where you are when you're listening to it.
Yeah, and this was the song that I hated. I hated it. I was like, there's no way it's gonna work.
Oh, wow.
Also, when I heard the first mix and I heard so much of it changed, I kind of had like demoitis, where I was like, I worked so hard on these drum parts, and we're just gonna change the whole song. And I learned a lot. You know, like that's
Sure,
a huge
yeah.
thing to learn
Yeah.
is that like not everything is right the first time.
Sure.
And how to process and work through that stuff. And now, yeah. It's a great tune. It's one of my favorites, probably third
Wow.
favorite.
All right.
It is
All right.
also the hardest song for me to play live.
And how is that, Dan?
Finesse. It requires a lot of finesse.
Okay. I can okay.
To balance the snare and the bass drum and not overplay and make
Yeah.
everything sit in the right spot.
Cool
tune though.
I agree. It is very much a cool tune. I can't wait to get my dashboard confessional moment when I see it live. Like I said, I think this one very much to me is one that I think that in the context of having that reaction and listening to it in the moment, I'm like, okay, I don't really quite get it, but I know that I'll never really turn around and understand it. And so I'm very excited to listen to that and then also to experience it live as well, just to kind of get the musical awareness that the song has in the context of like the album, but then also in the context of playing it live, because those are two different completely different animals. So I'm very excited to experience both. In terms of lyrics, Chris, what is this one? What is this one talking about?
So Fine For You is more or less, and I was touching a little bit about this earlier. Fine for you is the hey, this is me presenting my all to the person listening to this. I am the person that I am. I have my flaws. I
Sure.
have my
Yeah.
pros. I have my cons. This is me. I want to be good enough for someone. I hope I can be good enough for you. This is what I have to offer in any sense of the word. Like, as a musician, as an artist, as a person, as a lover of any kind, like, this is the person I am. This is what I have to give. Am I good enough for the world? Am I good enough for the person standing in front of me? Am I good
Sure.
enough for the person
Yeah.
listening to this song? So, Finding for You is very much my moment of weakness and self-doubt and saying, hey, this is what I have to offer. Can I be good enough for you?
It's okay. I love you too, Chris. And Dan.
Aww.
Love you guys so much.
Radical.
Oh, my heart. Ow, my heart.
We're all about love here on the channel.
Absolutely, we are.
I'm excited to. I'm gonna have to, when I see you guys live, I'm gonna have to tell you. I'm gonna have to listen to this a couple more times and then really, really hit you up on the interwebs or tell you in person and be like, listen, I've come around on this one. This one is a vibe.
I think the next track will help a little bit too, because Search Without Sight is kind of the companion track to Find For You, much like Hung Up was the companion track to Sugar, where Find For You is, hey, here I am, and can I be good enough for you? Search Without Sight is, well, am I good enough? Like, is what I have enough? Like, do I have to be better? Is there any way I can be better? Is it worth it? Like, Search Without Sight will kind of help in context too, because
Sure, yeah.
Search Without Sight was written from a similar moment of, well, I'm weak. I need to be vulnerable. Am I good enough for the people that are listening to this?
Sure, yeah.
So I think diving into the next track will kind of help a little bit too, kind of help settle those feelings in a little bit.
It'll contextualize.
Just my opinion.
Well, I mean, you guys did write the song, so I mean, your opinion is, very
You're right,
valid.
I did. You're
It's very
absolutely
valid.
right, I did.
I had nothing to do with Search Without Sight.
It's okay, Dan. I'm still gonna lump you into it because I
Okay.
believe your talents are, I believe your talents reside within Highwind. So, I have to do it.
Thank
so,
you. Radical, dude.
no problem, Dan. Chris, to kind of, piggyback on, what you said about, having companion tracks, was that kind of your initial thought in writing some of these songs, like lyrically? Because I think for me, it's interesting that if it wasn't in the context of like, yeah, I'm trying to piggyback these songs together, that would be more interesting to me altogether, because I'm like, if you had told me that you didn't, then I would be like, how did you like?
Well, I hate to break it to you, bud, I did not intend for that to happen
Oh my God.
whatsoever. I just kind of wrote and just kind of worked out, like all these ideas kind
That's
of
wild.
were
That's wild to
played
me.
into each other, Like
You
the
should have just
idea
leaned
of-
into it and been like, yeah, I intentionally wrote that.
No, if I am anything, I am honest. If I am anything, I am an open book. Like, I'll be real with you. Like, and I think that's what makes the album so unique and so beautiful
Sure, yeah.
too, because like everything just worked out. Like all the songs just naturally came about, and they all work with each other seamlessly. Again, I have Dan to thank for the track listing and the way the songs flowed into each other. But at the end of the day, like I write what I write. I don't write with any intentions of, oh, hey, let's compliment this. Oh, hey, let's do that. Like when I write
Sure.
songs, I just write to write and let whatever feeling I'm feeling out and call it a day. So it's just, it all came naturally, and I'm very thankful.
Certainly. Also, I want to go back to track number 2, Hung Up. You did mention All American Rejects, and that was the other band I couldn't think of, because that chorus, very All American Rejects vibes,
Thank
and
you.
I couldn't the Dome couldn't think of it on time, but eventually comes around. So that was the other band. I was like there's a band here that has that vibe that I couldn't remember what it was, and it almost has this sort of like swing like vibe, and I was like trying to remember where that song was, and now I just the old brain starting to just shake the dust off. So
It's all good, man. It's all good.
but guys, not to backtrack, to then move forward, we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Search Without Sight. We're gonna get into that in 3, 2, 1. Cool
The warm sun fades into the cold. I'm suffering, I'm shivering. The sunlight fades into black. I'm looking, still searching. I'm torn by the inner war of confidence and darkness. I'm wondering if this is my fate, to be left with emptiness. Oh, call out into the night. Oh, yeah. Let's search without sight. An empty shell that's begging for cause. Broken, beaten, almost lost. Call out into the night. Search without sight.
Ooh, this is nice. Yeah.
A lack of unending resound is unnerving to the artist. I'm questioning everything. Is there purpose? Is it worth it? An angel is humming their note. Are you near me? Are you whispering? Everyone has earned their praise. Will they love someone like me? Oh, call out into the night. Oh, yeah. And search without sight. An empty shell that's begging for cause. Broken, beaten, almost lost. Call out into the night. Search without sight.
All right, guys, if you just tuned in, this is Search Without Sight, track number 4 off of Something Right in Between. Companion track to Fine For You, as Chris alluded to earlier. This one was, I really love just the kind of almost like nakedness of the song, where like it's just mostly guitar. There are some like layers and stuff. More specifically, there was like some like string section in that last bit. And then, there was some really cool kind of like synth or kind of like sub kind of vibes going on there. But mostly it's just the guitar and vocals. And I really appreciate that, as, kind of gave me that, it kind of gave me that Only Exception kind of vibe from Paramore, with just just the guitar and the singing, which I really dig. I think it's hard for bands to pull off well because it is so like stripped back, where you are, the main focus is just the vocals or just the guitar. It's just the combination of those two things together. I feel like this song is probably vastly different live than maybe in the context of the album. Is that fair to say?
It's the only one we haven't played yet.
Wow. All
Never
right.
played it.
We're saving
That
it.
is surprise. That is very
Yeah,
surprising.
out of this whole album, when we did the album release show, we played everything but this.
Wow. Is there any
So-
reasoning behind why you didn't play this one?
It deserves to be saved for the special moment. Like, this is a very open and honest song. It's a very stripped back, like you're saying, an almost naked
Fair
kind
enough.
of song. Like, it deserves to have its moment. It's one of those songs where you don't want to overplay it because it deserves its moments, because it's that
Sure.
different from the rest of the catalog, that different from the rest of the discography of Highwind, that it deserves to have its moments where it shine, and it deserves to have, you know, that time where to play it almost feels necessary, you know. But
Fair
we'll
enough,
know
yeah.
we'll know when that is when we get there.
The other side to that, like from a less emotional standpoint, is that it was easier to put. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was easier to put harmony together
Oh
For the
wow. Okay.
for the album release show. Yeah, it kind of came down. So when we were like making our set list, we knew that we were gonna close with Sugar, and then we were like, all right, well, let's strip everything back, and it came down to Search Without Sight and Harmony, and Chris came up with a really cool intro for Harmony prior to it starting,
Okay.
where he played the chorus from Afterlife
Which we haven't played in
Ooh.
forever.
from the first EP. Yeah, he
Wow,
just strummed the
alright.
chords and sang it, and as the last chord faded out, Harmony like kind of faded in.
Okay.
and
Okay.
We'll revisit that idea when we come back around. But what you were saying before about it, like acoustic guitar and like just the singer, you know who does that really, really well is Silverstein.
Yes.
And
Yes. Shane.
That is kind of the vibe that I got from this song when I first heard it, and I was thinking about like what kind of drum parts can we put on this, what kind of percussion can we add to this, and
Yeah.
once they like kind of tracked the guitar and they got like the bass under it, Connor and I were just like, doesn't need any drums, doesn't need a single thing.
Yeah.
And I think I would like my drumming wouldn't benefit the song, like we wouldn't serve anything. So we opted for some, again, as this whole album is an experimentation for us, you know.
Yeah.
We brought in a violin player to record those violin parts that you heard live.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher
was-
McEwan.
He was incredible. Dude was in and out in 45 minutes.
Wow.
And
Wild.
he just listened to the track and came up with like a counter melody, and then he harmonized the counter melody, and we were like, Chris and I were just like giggling the whole time because like we couldn't
Yeah.
believe it was happening.
Absolutely. Yeah, this song
Um,
was definitely my oh shit moment. Like, this is really happening. Like, we sat there watching Chris, you know, track the violin, and I just stood there with my jaw open. I'm like, there's no way this is really going on my album. There's no way. We're really making an album of this caliber where we have someone live playing strings right here, right now. And that was really cool for us because, like Dan was saying, like, this album really was us pushing our boundaries, pushing our limits, stepping outside of our box, and seeing what we could do, what we could come up with, and just how creative of an artist, how creative of, you know, a duo we could become. And I think this song is proof that we were able to do that successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Even it kind of reminded me, even at some points too, of "Speak Love, You Speak Love" kind of vibes.
Yeah,
You know,
uh-huh.
like
Ryan
And,
Scott Graham, the man himself. Yep.
I love Ryan's side project stuff. In fact, I'm this hot take. I might like it even more than State Champs, which isn't
That's
a
a
bad
conversation we're not having right now.
We're not having this
because that's gonna be
conversation.
too long of a conversation
This is
for
too.
the track by
I just
track.
wanted to put my 2 cents out there, but I think that this kind of gives me a lot of those vibes from like
Okay.
Nearsighted. And
I can see it.
like, cause I know he even kind of has, that indie kind of quality to his music, and then also includes like synths and stuff. So I felt like, in terms of musical quality, like definitely reminds me a lot of that. And I think, how, Chris, you were saying how much, Fine For You resonates with you. This one I think resonates with me that, more. I just felt like when I was listening to it and just in that moment of just listening to the song and really dissecting it in my head, I was like, this one, I feel like this one hits home for me personally, and I was like, all right, this one is the one I can get behind.
Reverse
Certainly.
podcast. Do you think that this song contextualizes and makes Fine For You make more sense?
I do think it does. I think
Cool.
also the
told
fact
you.
I also think that-
Unintended result.
unintended results, but totally like on the nail. Like, And I think the thing is that, thus far, I think if this had just, I imagine this probably wouldn't have been a single, but I think in the confines of the record, thus far being kind of at the halfway mark, essentially, I think it really kind of, at least shows me so much so, like, with, Sugar and Hung Up being more of that, like, again, that kind of, like, poppy, high energy kind of vibe. And then you get Fine For You and Search Without Sight, where it's more like the chiller kind of, in that sort of indie lane. It makes me think, like, okay, we're halfway through the record. Like, are there going to be other surprises thus far? Like, going through the record and listening to some of the songs where I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. Yeah, this is where I think it's going to land, So, very curious thus far. I've really enjoyed this one. This one is up there, I think, up there with Hung Up. But again, we're halfway through this, so we're downhill.
Point is still anybody's game.
Downhill slope here,
Let me tell you real quick about this track listing. I only put the songs together based on how they sound. I didn't think about a single word. I was only thinking about how songs start and stop in conjunction with one another.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think about, which is, I don't want to say a newer, but maybe like a more realized thought process, is the idea of like having to flip your record, like the side A, side B aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And side A started hot and we brought you down, right?
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
correct.
of energy,
Yeah. No,
and side
certainly.
B is we're gonna climb the mountain back up.
Ooh.
And then we'll take another little dive down.
All right. Well, Dan's given us some forewarnings of what to expect. Again, Chris, I don't remember asking you this in terms of Search Without Sight. This one, I know you kind of alluded to a little bit in Fine For You, but lyrically, you can delve in a little bit more into, the confines of the song.
I mean, realistically, like I said, it's about Fine For You is that, hey, here's what I am. Can I be good enough for you? And then Search Without Sight is the question of, will I be good enough for you? Like, can I be good enough for you? Am I good enough, period,
Mm-hmm.
Search Without Sight is that moment of weakness, that moment of breaking down and questioning, my own self-worth. And I've had those moments more times than I can count. I'm sure most people that consider themselves an artist of any kind, whether it be music, dancing, painting, whatever, I'm sure they've all had those moments of, well, am I good enough?
Sure.
Because we as people, it's human nature. Like, we all have our moments of self-doubt. We all have our moments where we lack confidence. So this song was that moment for me, and I just put a pen to paper and let my feelings out.
There we go. I feel like this one, much like Fine For You, I think this one is a little bit ahead in terms of, emotionally what I'm kind of like, vibing with the most right now. But I'm curious to see, thus far I've really liked how just the album has kind of progressed. And,
Thank you.
big shout outs to, Dan putting them all together. But I think that it has a good flow to it where, like you have those moments of highs where you're like, okay, this is great. Like, really, these are songs that I feel like would just pop off live. And then, getting into Fine For You and Search Without Sight, where it's going to be a little bit more vibey, a little bit more like chill, as I mentioned previously. And I think there's just a really nice dichotomy of having that. And then, getting into, track number 5, gonna see where that, energy takes us. And very, very excited thus far. But I think Search Without Sight is gonna be my second favorite thus far. So we're gonna move into track number 5, guys, which is Will You Please Stay. Very excited to listen to this one, and we'll get into it in 3, 2, 1.
Another one of my faves.
Oh, okay. I have high hopes
Take
for
this
this
moment
one.
to grab a drink.
Living is just hoping that all things will turn out the way we need. You're making and believing. Love has shown itself in many forms. It's become more than just a word. I wish it was more, felt less heard. for just a little longer. Hold on just a little harder. If you can open your eyes, you can survive. Rain, watch as it falls down from the sky. Although it may be a dreary sight, it's a sign that you're alive. Look, I see the sun through the clouds. Yeah, it's a little brighter out. I know it's warmth is safe and sound. So if you please stay for just a little longer. Hold on just a little harder. If you can open your eyes, you can survive.
All right, guys. That was Will You Please Stay? If you just tuned in, that's track number 5. The Something Right in Between. Again, links below. Go give it some love. Go listen. If you can go buy it, go buy it. Also, if you like merch, you should also buy merch from them because some of that stuff is AK real sick. So I'll have to cop a Highwind shirt so then I can be, cool like the rest of the Highwind fam out there.
Dripped up.
Get it
Dripped
now
up.
before it sells out, because after the album release shows we were playing, like, we're getting pretty low in those merch numbers, and that's not even a joke, or like not even to sound cool either. Like, we're getting pretty low in numbers, and it's kind of scary.
Listen, all I'm saying is gonna DM you what you have left in a size large, and then I'm just gonna be like, yo, give me that shit.
All right, I got you. Don't you worry about it.
There we go. Guys, this one was very, like, again, kind of vibey. Really dug the, like, acoustic, kind of guitar going on there. And then the synth was, like, hella prominent in this song. Like, more than I think some of the other songs.
That big, like, 80s backbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor's genius.
It was, I think, as much as I really dug the production of Hung Up, I think this one might even be a step above that even. So I am curious, in terms of just the bones of the track when it originally was written as a demo to, obviously on the record, how this one seems to me, if I was at the casino and I had to put my chips in, I feel like this one changed significantly. Would I be correct on
absolutely
that one?
It did. 100%. This song had barely any synth when I first demoed it. Because at the time of writing, I really hadn't played with synths up to that point. Like, it was all real guitars, it was all real bass. The only synth that was in the original demo that I knew I wanted in the finished track was that dun 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 dun
Yeah, that
dun
was super
dun
sick. Yeah.
dun 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 that you hear throughout the entire song. I wanted that synth to be prominent throughout the entire song, so it was something that the listener always came back to, that was comfortable for the listener throughout the whole song, but it kept fading in, fading out, fading in, and kept showing its face when it was necessary, you know?
Certainly.
There was
So-
also barely any drums on the track originally.
Oh,
It was a lot of
wow.
it was just a lot of like kick drum, just straight kick drum the whole time. And not a lot of room. Like, I mean, there were starts and stops to like let
Sure.
the song breathe, and it had the dance beat in the middle, but outside of that, like that whole section with the drums pushed to the back, or the second time we came into the chorus with some of those more chaotic drum hits, which believe it or not, I didn't write. Chris wrote that. That was all his idea.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
And
I'm
then
not a drummer. That's the best part.
No, I mean, he's like, I want some hits. I think I want him to go like this, and I played it exactly as he said it, and he goes, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And then on the end, it was just like it was the same little drum beat that you heard, and that was again the bones of the song. And we kind of added all of the drums like maybe a week or two, because we recorded this even earlier than Fine for You.
Wow.
And I remember we went to the studio at the end of August, but Chris and I had met like maybe 2 weeks before that. And we had like a hurricane tropical storm come through.
Yep, I know that.
And-
Yeah.
I forgot about that part. Whoops.
Yeah, and it was like super nice out. We had the windows open, and Chris is like, "We gotta add some drums to this." And I was like, "All right, let's add some drums." And yeah, we added a bunch of those cool fills, and I was like, "Oh, dude, what if I play something through this whole, like, because this is the longest instrumental break on the album too,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
end of the chorus until the vocals come back in after the guitar solo, and we were just like, there's too much space, so let's occupy the space with a little bit of movement. And then Connor, came in. Connor the synth wizard came in and kind of just like vacuumed the songs together with those little like kind of things, you know what I mean? So that the guitars and the synths swell together.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one and Fine for You were definitely the ones that changed the most in production.
It does feel that way, and I think even more so for the better. Like, some of the songs that were, like, the synth kind of plays more of a backseat role, where you're like, okay, like this adds a lot to the song, but like, it's more of a like, okay, we're here in the background kind of a vibe. This one, it feels a little bit more, up front, a little bit more like in your face, which I like, because they're, it just feels like, comparatively to some of the songs we've listened to thus far, it has, a separation to it, like not even in a bad way. It just still fits with your whole sound, but it, just opens everything up more, I'd say.
Yeah, I think this is the only song where the synth is bass, harmony, and melody.
Yeah, and that's really tight.
Yeah, and it was definitely a challenge.
Certainly.
But I think the payoff on this song is huge too. And I just love, it's just like I said, this is the start of side B on the record, and you just get like this pleasant explosion of synth sound. And again, like recorded in a separate session, like almost a whole year before we recorded
The rest
Sugar
of the
Hung Up.
record.
Yeah, Search and All's End and Jaded. And it's cool like to see like how the songs like from far apart kind of like hold up together. Yeah.
And
great tune.
I think the really cool thing about this song too is that even the demo that I wrote changed up from the first time I wrote the song, quote unquote. Because the original demo I had was, I don't want to say it had a lot more of like an arpeggio and swing feel in the guitars and things like that, but I wrote that demo, shelved it for a while, and then came back to the chord structure and was like, I can write something better than this. And Will You Please is what came of that. And the original chorus lead became the guitar solo that you hear now.
Ooh, okay.
So I think this song really shows, to toot my own horn a little bit, my growth and my push to want to become a better songwriter.
Yeah.
And learning how to take parts and to change them up to better suit the needs of the song that they're going into.
I would agree with that. Like some of the stuff that, if you had told me that, you and Dan were gonna be writing stuff like this, I probably would have, like, years ago, I would have been like, I don't see you guys doing something like this, but it kind of blows my mind in that aspect because it's so different from what I had imagined for such a long time. And then to hear like you guys be like, this is worked from like the ground up, adding all these like incredible synths and different like textures and layers, even like throughout the songs that I've listened to thus far. It's just been really, really a cool experience. And I know we even talked about it in the interview as well, but like this now actually listening to all the songs and the having you guys on to kind of discuss everything, like it now it's all starting to sink in where I'm like, okay, they're really trying to do this thing and just do it differently. And I appreciate that you guys are really just, taking steps out of your comfort zone to, make some really, really well put together songs. Like, not that I didn't think that they were terrible anyway. It just feels like big steps above what I know.
We're becoming an adult band.
Yeah. I also think it's cool that like I know that like when I get to hear my favorite band's commentary on their music, like it helps me connect with it.
Sure.
In some cases,
yeah.
Sometimes disconnect from it. But usually connect, and like I get a better insight as to what those people were feeling, and their production process.
Mm-hmm.
And most recently, I had mentioned it before, Silverstein, they have a pod series right now where they're doing hour-long episodes to break down each track. And it's good to know that our operational process about how we write demos and collaborating with other people is the same as a band that's been rocking for 22 years, 3 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and continuing to put out sick records and not being afraid of being diverse and not being afraid to take steps that are divergent. And yeah, it's good. It's cool. I also just love this track. I just totally enamored.
To bounce off of what Dan said for a hot sec too, before we go into what I think is one of the most fun tracks on the album, I think change and pushing yourself is really what makes a band or an artist a band or an artist. Like it's all about seeing. I've had a long conversation with Guy from Idle Wave about this. It's all about seeing what you can do next. Like what you think is your best now, you'll be able to top. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, so on and so forth. However long it you want to take to progress.
Sure.
I think that, going from how have you been to now, we've really done everything we can to push ourselves to be the best artists we can be in this very moment. And then there's still room for improvement too. You know, like there's still room to grow as artists. There's still room to push ourselves outside of the box we've already pushed ourselves out of, and just to see what we can do next, how creative we can get next. And as much as I love this album, I'm very excited to see what comes next and how much more of a band we can become after this,
Sure.
I'm actively trying to slow him down from writing new music. Because I'm like, dude, can you wait? Can we just like enjoy the ride? Like,
And he's
like just
"No,
like,
right
can we
now."
just like? I was like, can we just get through? Can we just cruise through the summer? But no, like every band I was ever in, was gotta write, and like that's. I'm not literally trying to stop him, but I have said, dude, give it a minute. I never wanted
He's not
to
wrong.
stop writing.
He's like, don't actually like press on the brake, but just take your foot.
Slow
off the
down
gas.
through the turn a little bit, hit the apex, and then push.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Just visualize the brake pedal.
Yeah, visualize. Imagine it's there.
All right.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right.
Sweet.
I wanted to also give another comment shout out to Brittany as well. She says, this song gives me one of the biggest Band Camino vibes and I adore it. So can't disagree with that. I would I would argue.
Oh, you haven't even heard the biggest one yet.
You haven't yet. You haven't heard the biggest one yet. I mean, I know Brittany's heard the whole record at this point, but you haven't even heard
I
the
have
best
not.
one yet.
So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. In terms of lyrics, Chris, we could kind of touch on this. Lyrically, what are we going at for this one?
So again, same deal. Like, Search Without Sight goes from "Am I good enough? Like, is this worth it? Will you please?" Is kind of like the big comforting hug of, "Yeah, this is worth it. Like, life is hard. Life sucks. Life sucks. But there's
Life
beauty,
sucks
there,
too.
There's beauty that comes after the pain that you're suffering through. Like,
Sure.
hey, yeah, it's raining, but look, the clouds are moving by. There's the sun. Things are getting better. Things will get better. Like, life is hard, yeah, but it does get better. And I think this is my love letter to the listener saying, hey, yeah, like, what you're going through is hard. I'm here for you to support you through this, and it will get better. I promise you that.
There we go. I feel that, feel that in my bones. So I, implore you guys to go listen, we're watching the Highwind live stream right now. You need to go follow them on all the social medias, like right now. But
Highwind NJ on Instagram, Highwind Band NJ on Twitter. Do the thing.
Don't pause this video. Just like keep the video running and then do it, and then come back. But we're gonna move into the next track, guys. Track number 6. This one is All's End. Very excited to listen to this one.
I have so many fun things to say about this song.
Oh boy! In 3, 2, 1.
I think I'm losing it. Tell me what happened last night. I can't get over this. Over my strange existence. Nothing makes sense. But I know I'm not helpless. I think I'm crazy. Tell me, do you see it? Can I move on with my life like nothing ever happened? I'm living through a dream, something you can't imagine. I think I'm going insane. Feels like I'm losing my mind. I'm running out of time. Will I give it up?
Okay. Yep. This is the one.
Will I give it up?
This just feels like a summer cruise track. Windows down.
I think I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened last night. I can't get over this. Over my strange existence. Nothing makes sense. But I know I'm not helpless. I think I'm crazy. Tell me, do you see it? Memories bleeding like drops of rain off my car. Move at the speed of sound. Stop in the thick of it all. I always speak out loud. Try not to drown me out. Hey, can you hear me now? Will I give it up? Will I give it up? Memories bleeding like drops of rain off my car. Move at the speed of sound. Stop in the thick of it all. I always speak out loud. Try not to drown me out. Hey, can you hear me now?
Nice. All right. All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, this is track number 6, All's End, on Highwind's newest record, Something Right in Between. Thank you.
I love this song so much.
Thanks for joining us. If you made it all the way to track number 6, you need to rewind this shit and go back to track number 1. God, this one is a bop. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. This one is This one's better than Hung Up by
Thank you.
a landslide.
Thank you.
By very much a land.
Oh, he says a landslide.
I loved Hung Up, but this one, listen, I'm still holding out hope that Jaded might be better than this one, but I'm not gonna lie.
Jaded
This
is
one,
different. Jaded's
Jaded-
Yeah,
It's
Jaded,
different.
yeah, we're gonna tell you that it's different, and we're gonna leave it
Okay.
at that. Let's talk about
Okay.
All's End.
okay. This one, as I mentioned in the reaction portion of this song, is I think this one's gonna be a summer hit. As you know, I'm gonna put my stamp of approval. This is a summer bop right now.
We got the audio addiction stamp of
You
approval
need-
for
you
the
need
summer
to-
cruise, baby.
You need to put this shit on every summer playlist you guys can think of, because this one's a big vibe. Big vibes, you know, we all about big vibes here on Audio Addiction, but I love this a ton. The guitar leads are super like vibey, ethereal. The synths just are punchy, but also like very subtle in nature in some portions of the song. The vocals are on point. Chris killed it on
Thank
this
you.
one. But just collectively, the song like was just so well executed that I was
Thank
like,
you.
man, this one's 10 out of 10, 100%.
Are you-
Like,
You ready for the craziest part?
I'm ready, Dan. Tell me, what is the craziest part?
That is basically the demo. That one came out the box like that.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
the
doing
only
the,
Yeah,
like
like a-
YouTuber reaction face. Oh my god! I would
yeah,
have
that
never
one,
expected that.
I think the intro changed a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean barely.
I mean,
So you-
yeah, like the only things that changed genuinely were like the intro, how I went about it, and the outro. We cut it the tiniest bit. That song, we were so stoked about it going into it. We were so stoked coming out of it. I need to give a little bit of recognition to CJ Rare too, for doing harmonies on that, because all those harmonies are him. He did harmonies on that, Hung Up, and Sugar, and he killed it in the vocal booth every single time. He
Shout out
was
CJ.
so good. But yeah, like we went into that song knowing exactly what we wanted, how I wanted the sound, and all my inspiration shined through on this one too. Like I listened to a lot of Floor, I listened to a lot of Band Camino, listened to a
Yeah.
lot of Play, there's so many artists I listened to, and that was like, All's End is my culmination of the inspiration I got from those artists, and I mean, it shows from like the single coil, but gaining guitar licks, all the synths that
Yeah.
are just punching left to right, the pop drum beats. Like, that is the culmination of all of my pop inspirations right then and there. And I'm so happy with how that track came out. It is so much fun.
This one, if anything, much like Hung Up, is one that I am very excited to see live, because I feel like this one is just like
Oh, this is a party live. This is a party live.
immediate party. Like, you can't help but just be like vibing out with this one. This one is, again, I said it, certified bop here. You know,
Let's go.
I'm all about this one. This one is going to be very hard to beat. I would argue in my tier listing. You know, for Highwind, I would say this one very much number one. Hung Up very much number two, and then I probably put for a three-way or two-way tie, Search Without Sight and Will You Please. I think those two are tied for now. But again, we still got two more
Nice.
tracks, so final verdict isn't out.
Yeah, man. Big Sonic lasagna on this one. A lot of layers.
Sonic lasagna.
That is the first time I think I've ever heard that, but now I'm gonna have to use that terminology now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
You're gonna owe him royalties
I
every
am.
time.
I'll send him 1 cent via PayPal every time.
Please.
You got it, Dan.
Yeah, a lot of layers. Like you said, big party song, great live song for sure. I think we've been opening with it.
We have
Ooh, nice.
Big
All right.
big hot opener.
Yeah.
But that could
hot and heavy
change.
right out the gate. Am I right or am I right?
That could change because I'm always messing with our set list and it makes everybody upset. But
Doesn't make me upset. I have a blast.
no, because I mean you know all the songs, but
Like the back of my hand.
almost like you wrote them.
I wrote these songs. Wait, what? I wrote
Yeah.
these? Oh god. Oh no.
Yeah,
Wow.
This is a
not
surprise to me.
one of I love a song that like kind of speaks for itself. And you don't need to go into a long-winded explanation about drum production or, layers. Like out of the box, just all the right notes in the right order. Probably the only drum demo I didn't change, because Chris sends me like we call them skeletons.
Yes,
When
correct.
he sends a song over to have a drum skeleton with like a suggested or like Chris is like, this is what I'm feeling, and sometimes I can get I get into it and I like make small changes, or in this case I play exactly what's there, and sometimes I pick it up like it's a used tissue and throw it to the side and say, I think I have a better idea, and that's just the process that we use, and yeah, banger.
All I'm gonna
Certified.
say is you guys did
Send it.
trust. You guys did trust the process on this one. This one is right out the gate, just a certified banger. And wow, this was a really great one. I really enjoyed this one a ton.
Another,
Thank you.
I mean, if you want another little nugget, this was gonna be a single, but we were concerned that it had too many similarities to Sugar.
Fair enough. I could see
Um,
that.
c-
Yeah.
This was gonna be like the last single before the album drops.
Gotcha.
Because Fine for You was a pre-album single, which introduced me into the band, into
Sure,
the Highwind
yeah.
canon.
The Highwind
Um,
universe.
Yes.
The multiverse.
And then Sugar was the album announcement, and then Hung Up was the song that we came up with the cohesive story for.
Fair
We
enough,
had a
yeah.
hard time coming up with a video for this one that wasn't performance motivated, and we had already done 2 performance videos.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So in that aspect, we were able to kind of push our boundaries in terms of like music video production with Hung Up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still in the old noggin. There's still a gear or two turning about something we can do for
Always.
All's End. Yeah.
I'm waiting. I think you guys can come around on this one, certainly.
Thank you.
Chris, in terms of lyrics, what are we vibing with here?
So, will you please is the hey, life is hard, but you'll get through it. All's End is, hey, here's life. Let's get through it. All's End
True.
is that moment of, hey, you're standing here and life is moving. Like, it's flashing right before your eyes. Because that's how, the older you get, the faster life seems to
Oh, you don't have to
move
tell
in
me.
front of you.
I'm old
The
as
faster
shit.
the clock ticks. Like, that's really what the song is about. Just, life happening right in front of your eyes and not being sure how to handle it. The song title has absolutely nothing to do with the song whatsoever. And it's my little nod to me being a gamer and me being a nerd. It's a little Easter egg from Kingdom Hearts. Much like
You're
Highwind
right.
is named after Kingdom Hearts, All's End is a little Kingdom Hearts Easter egg.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yep. It's a Kingdom Hearts 2 Easter egg. But yeah, All's End is lyrically just about growing up and life moving faster than you can handle it at times. But you got to keep going. You got to keep
Yeah.
moving forward. It's life. There's no other way around it. You just got to do it.
Gotta enjoy the moments,
That's
which
right.
I enjoyed that moment, that 2 minutes and 41 second moment of bliss. Very, very
Shortest
on
song on
point.
the album.
It didn't feel like it, so I really.
That's a good thing. It means you were savoring it.
I was savoring it, that this is
Savoring
the
the
Food
beef,
Network.
baby.
This is the Food Network, so we savor our songs here. Brittany says, needed my inhaler when I heard All's End live after how hard I was dancing around, and then she also confirmed the Highwind cinematic universe. So
Yeah.
It
Can't-
do
can't
exist. It do exist.
it exists. This is the canon here. This is gonna be very hard to beat. So I feel like we have to move on to the next one, which is track
Yeah.
number 7, called Jaded. This one features our good friends in Flight Club. Love you guys. Have had them on the channel a couple times, I think. Now I'm getting old, so I'm starting to forget shit, but definitely at least once. So go check out Flight Club if you haven't. Good shit. Just
They just
the
dropped a
finest,
single a couple weeks ago.
the finest shit. Yes, they did. So guys, feel free to come back on. I'd love to have you back on again. But enough about me shilling. We're gonna get into track number 7, Jaded, in 3, 2, 1.
So sick of always being mad at myself. So tired of losing and I never got my cup of coffee. Contrasting colors staining my point of view. I don't need to sleep. Another day of living in little hell. Paying with pain and now the rent is catching up to me. They look unscathed, I'm looking beaten and bruised. I just need caffeine. I'm jaded and I just can't help myself from feeling what I feel. Do you feel what I feel? I'm stressing over every single thing, like learning how to breathe and work at 5:30. Can never catch my breath or stand up with the rest. I'm thinking that maybe
holding on,
I
Dan,
was
for
born
dear life.
too late. I've gotta move along. Am I doing fine? Am I alright?
Ooh, all right. Okay.
The hardest step's always the first one you take.
Ooh, all right.
One at a time, and I can tell that I'm miles away. Say life's a gamble, it's subject to change. I find it harder just to stay the same. So absent-minded, staring as the hands of the clock carry hours and days. Dissociated, living the divide of my mind, and I say
I'm jaded and I just can't help myself from feeling what I feel. Do you feel what I feel? I'm stressing over every single thing, like learning how to breathe and work at 5:30. Can never catch my breath or stand up with the rest. I'm thinking that maybe I was born too late. I've gotta move along. Am I doing fine? Am I alright? I'm jaded and I'm jaded and I'm jaded and I can't help myself.
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, why'd you show up so late? I'm really upset that you showed up so late to this shit. No, I'm kidding. This is track number 7. This one is called Jaded, and it features our good friends in Flight Club. Chris was laughing hysterically as I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" Like
We said it was gonna be different.
You hit me with the biggest like M. Night Shyamalan shit that I think I've ever seen in my entire life, because I was fully expecting this one to just like
Be
go
a ripper,
immensely hard. I thought this was gonna be like more in the like Flight Club lane camp, you know, where they're going like, you know, the pop punk kind of, you know, vibes here. But this one very much took, I think this was very much like if I was in like a boxing ring with Mike Tyson, he hit me with like a knockout punch. This is how I felt. I was shocked by the difference of sounds from this one. It almost gave me a kind of like I don't know if you guys remember this band or not, Keen. It gives me that kind of like piano. I would definitely recommend checking them out because it does remind me.
I know what I need to listen to now.
It reminds me of them in that sort of like, you know, having piano more at the forefront of the songwriting aspect of it. It was good hearing Charlie in not a Flight Club context, because I was like, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect him to be, you know, singing something like this, you know, not that it's a bad thing, but certainly not in what I know his music to be. So this was a nice change of pace, at least, and I guess like more of an explorative side of Charlie. So big ups to him for
Yeah.
trying to do something different. Dan, give me
First time that it wasn't like he was just called for a guest feature. I think I mentioned this before, that like they fully collaborated on the song over Zoom.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think the bones of the song remained largely the same as we went into production. But you know, Connor put his synth wizard hands on it, and Chris tracked the piano.
Which was way out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because playing piano live. So I've known how to play piano for quite a few years right now, right? But it's definitely my weakest instrument, without a doubt. So I knew I wanted to play piano on this just for the sake of improving my craft.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think it paid off real well between that and Fine For You in particular. I think it paid off real well for the sake of the album. And like Dan was saying, like me and Charlie sat over Zoom. We literally took 3 days worth of our time to just sit down and craft the song and make it something different for both Highwind and us as songwriters. And
Sure.
we had a lot of fun. We were both cooped up in our rooms over the pandemic. And we said, screw it. Let's make it happen. We're writing a record. Let's do it. And we had a blast.
Yeah. It's a cool track. That's you know, Highwind, if we were a 90s rock band influenced largely by Weezer,
Okay. I can hear.
or
I
like
can hear
the
Weezer
or like the
vibes.
slower Green Day songs from like Nimrod, or
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
what's the other record with Brain Stew on it? That one.
Dookie.
No, it's the one after that.
Oh man,
I can't remember.
I'm losing my Green Day knowledge here.
See, when I listen to this, I think of like Andrew McMahon, Jack's Mannequin, and that kind
Fair
of
enough. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, like I can hear that. Like Jack's Mannequin, kind of. Yeah. All right.
Now that
I
you
didn't
say
really
it,
put
yeah.
those together, but now that
there.
now that you mention it, that's what I'm thinking. You're
I
right.
really love Everything in Transit. Like that's the Jack's Mannequin record holds a special place in my heart. Always will.
Big facts.
Chris, you and Charlie co-wrote the lyrics too, or did you just write? Okay, so yeah, they
We co-wrote the
literally.
lyrics too. We sat down and
collaborated.
crafted those lyrics like it was nobody's
Crap.
business.
With our hands.
I think the only thing I really didn't touch was the second verse Charlie wrote for himself. I said, "Hey, this is your spot. Do it. I'll double check it and see if there's anything I want to change." And he wrote it down. I said, "Nope. Perfect. Chef's kiss.
Chef's
It's
kiss.
done.
There you go.
Sing your part."
Yeah, I was invited to the Zoom calls, but again, I wasn't in the band, and I was like, I'll fix the drum stuff later. And there was some medium changes, but again, like definitely not the most changed song, not as much as
Yeah,
Will
I
You
could see
Please
that.
Are Fine For You.
It does.
See,
it-
I argue that the song we're going to listen to next is the one that changed the most, and I'll explain why when we get there, but
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I do really dig this one. I think that the fact that like I didn't know Chris did the piano parts for like most of the record, I think that definitely like makes me reconsider some of the songs, like Fine For You certainly, in this one, where I'm like, I knew Chris played piano, but not to this extent. And if you had told me that you were like, you know, doing piano on this record, I would have been like, wow, he's actually really good at piano. So kudos to you, Chris.
Thank you.
Big ups to
I
Chris.
have no confidence in my piano skills, so hearing that means the world. So thank you.
Survival when he's
the
picking
survival
the
mode.
ivories.
Exactly. It's all survival mode.
It's like
Unless you tell me to play the Kingdom Hearts theme, then I got it, no problem.
there you go. I was gonna, funnily enough, make a Kingdom Hearts reference. So this is like, you know, this is like Zero Experience Sora going on here. You know, I would've-
Basically, yeah.
you know. So big facts. Dan, were you gonna say something? It looked like you were gonna.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else about the song. We've only played it live once.
Ooh,
It
all
was
right.
cool.
All
It was
right.
cool. And then like the structure of it's kind of neat too, where like it takes a really long time to circle around to the chorus.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
then again, the second verse and the second pre-chorus are different, but also like not too far away.
Mhm.
And of course, we ended with the riff that we started with, and it's just
full
it's just
circle.
cool.
It's
Cool
a full
track.
circle.
I want to play it.
Certainly.
I want to play it more.
Which
I
we're going
would
to.
agree.
We're going to.
Do you guys have any plans to play this song with Charlie, if you haven't already?
Oh yeah.
When we get the chance to tour together, yes, because we've been talking about playing shows together, gigging together for the longest time, but the timelines have just never worked out. So we're always in talks about when we can possibly gig together and all that good stuff.
There we go.
Anytime we have a guest on the Highwind, we try to incorporate them live. We played Crash and Burning up in Rhode Island, and the two dudes from the Fairview jumped up there.
Very cool.
Yeah. We haven't seen L yet, so they haven't done their part. But when you bet your buns, it's gonna happen.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm very much looking
Right
forward to it. We are at the I guess Chris, you could talk about Jaded too, especially more so your portion of the lyrics. You know, what is this song kind of talking about here?
It's about life being overwhelming. Like, we're talking about how all's end is life moving too fast in front of you. Jaded is the overwhelming beatdown of life, where work is hard. You know, life has its moments where it really gets to you, and all you need is just a wink of sleep, or all you need is that cup of coffee to get you through your day.
Sure.
Like, it's just about being a person who's dealing with everyday life. That's really what it boils down to in its simplest message, you know? Like, Charlie and I are both people that have been there, have done that. We've, been grinding our way through the music industry for however long we've been a part of it. We both work regular human jobs, like, and we just know what it feels like to be a human working your average day job and not being a fan of it, you know? So
Human job.
Human job.
Yeah, human job.
I
Precisely. So.
Chris confirmed bionic. That's all,
Android, get it
Android.
right.
All I could think of was
I knew Chris was gonna say that because why he's part robot. Now we know.
all I could think of was
Confirmed.
Jerry gets trapped in one of the alternate universes in Rick and Morty, and he's driving, and he's like, more human music. He goes, oh, human music, I kind of like this.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty in forever. I gotta watch that again.
Human job. That's
Human
like the
job.
only joke I can remember from the whole series, but yeah.
It's okay. And then we just confirmed on live video that Chris is an android. So
What are you talking about? I'm not sent here from another.
Oh my
planet or
God.
anything. No,
I'm just
what do you
kidding.
mean?
I'm just getting clickbaited
Alright.
out here.
Getting gaslit again.
Getting gaslit. We're gonna move it into the last track, guys. Track number 8, Harmony. The final track on our musical journey.
This is our
here.
send off.
This is the send off. Very excited to listen to this, guys. If you've stuck around for this live track by track, much love. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna culminate everything. So very excited to get into Harmony in 3, 2, 1. All right.
I'm about to sing a melody. Please, someone sing a harmony. I wanna hear it so I know they feel it. Singing by myself gets pretty lonely. I'm looking to sing a peaceful duet. Finding a partner's hard, but I haven't given up yet. I hear the choir sing, I hear the violin in my head. A song that no one can forget. A little something like la 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 I wanna sing to you while you fall asleep. See you smile as it plays in your dreams. I hope you sing it in your sleep back to me. It's comfort in the form of They say that music is the way to the soul, the thing that truly makes me feel whole. I hear you singing note for note, your harmony, it feels like home. Please sing with me.
That was cool. I like that ending. Guys, if you've
Thank
made
you.
it to the end here, this is track number 8, Harmony. This is off of Something Right in Between. Very I like this one a lot. I think this one surprised me because I was like, okay, where is it going? You know, what are we doing here? You know? And I just like kind of the more like melancholy like kind of tone it has, where you know, where there's just a little bit more, you know, more vibes going on here. And then as the song kind of progresses, and I feel like this happens with a lot of the songs off this record, where, you know, as the song kind of progresses, more stuff gets added to it, and then it kind of just continues to slowly like open up, like, you know, like a flower kind of a way, you know, where you pick out little different things where I'm like, all right, this is cool, like, and then, you know, there's another synth layer that comes in, you're like, oh shit, that's really neat. And then
All
you know,
about
the drums,
dynamics.
you know, the drums
All
come in
about
and you're like,
dynamics.
oh shit, the drums are really cool. And then the guitars come in and you're like, man, the guitar is like, this is really sick. And then by the time like the song kind of reaches its end point, I'm like, all right, I get it now, you know. And I think if anything now, it kind of more contextualized the record as a whole, where like all of the songs have just like, you know, the starting point, but then by the end of it, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like branches off from it, but then there's still that main theme in the song is still, you know, still there at the heart of it.
Absolutely.
And I felt like with Harmony, that kind of like encompassed like the entire record. So I think this one was really well put together, Dan. You know, as we've
Thank
been
you.
saying, kudos on the arrangement, because I think you know, for an album that has, you know, kind of the call and response in terms of like, you know, where the lyrics kind of, you know, play off of each other in that aspect, to have, you know, a song that culminates everything in that sort of way, you know, very well executed, at least from my perspective. So I dug
Yeah,
this
I
one.
mean, I just like when we had this was the second song tracked for the record, maybe a week or two before Fine for You.
Gotcha.
The session that was supposed to be Fine for You, I had to postpone, you know, COVID,
Sure.
whatever. But Chris went in, and he'll tell you about all the other stuff. But when we had finished tracking May that year, you know, a couple months later,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of knew. I was like, Harmony has to be the last song. Like, to me, it feels like the credits are rolling here. Like,
Yeah.
just on like, or like I visualized more of like the closing of a book. And it was like we had made all of these statements about, you know, like being in a bad relationship where you want the bad relationship, or you can't walk away from it, or wanting what you can't have, or am I good enough, or life is hard. Like if you go into the lyrics of this song, you're gonna find that all of those themes are there and present, and happen to be written before the rest of the album was. And I think that this song kind of totally captures the simultaneously captures like the despondence that we felt during, you know, year and a half, 2 years where like, shit, are we ever gonna get music ever again?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like kind of like the sing with me, like the rally cry, like the commands, like sing with me, and maybe we can find our place in this world together, kind of thing. Just as like an overarching thematic
Yeah.
tie-in.
Certainly.
And then musically, I don't know. It's like it was one of those genius brainchild things. I wasn't there when it was tracked, but I knew that like when I heard the end result, I was kind of had the same slow to warm up
Yeah.
that I had for Fine for You. And you had mentioned the melancholiness. They were written in the dead of winter, or they were recorded in the dead of winter in 2021 when COVID numbers respiked, and like I think it kind of the melancholy does show, and you
Yeah.
hit the
Yeah.
mark on that one. Chris, you can
Yeah.
totally talk about the writing and the lyrics. Like just go for it all in one shot.
God. So we have to dig back like 5 years ago when I first wrote this song.
Whew.
I was kind of getting ready to leave my old band. I was just sitting there writing tunes with the acoustic guitar in my hand. And I just started playing with those the open chord shapes, and I just kind of built it from there. I remember writing down these lyrics about wanting to find love, wanting to find the person that makes you feel like you're safe in someone's arms, that person that makes you feel like everything is going to be okay when you're with them, person that makes you feel like, hey, I found my purpose, I found my
Yeah.
hope. It's right here in this moment with this person, and I can do anything from here on out. I remember writing these lyrics and just craving that feeling, and here I am 5 years later feeling like I have the entire world in front of me. So it's really one of those cool first full circle moments. And even like bringing it to Connor, the demo was just, a phone memo of me singing along with my acoustic guitar that I had to dig up from literally 5 years ago. And the only reason I know that demo still existed was because I sent it in an email to my friend Michelle, when I first wrote the track. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And I had to go searching through my email inbox, through years worth of emails just to go find this
Wow.
demo that I knew I wanted to track with Connor. And when
The fact that your emails kept that email,
I was gonna say, yeah, that's true.
that's
too.
crazy.
I don't delete anything. It's kind of scary.
Sometimes though, like Google will just purge. Like Google will be like, you got too much stuff, time to go.
No, still there.
Got
Google knew.
lucky.
There
I
was a
got very
gem there.
lucky. But yeah, so there was that, and then I retracked the demo the same way, just acoustic guitar,
Uh-huh.
the vocals, and I put the one little lead guitar part here and there. And Connor was like, I got this. Bring this to me. I know exactly what this needs to sound like. Bring it into the studio. And he's the one who added the synths, the
Yeah.
layers, the harmonies, the vocoder vocals underneath.
The drum machine.
Yeah,
drum machine,
exactly. All of
yeah.
that. Little 8-bit you hear in your left ear, like that was all Connor's idea. He knew what he wanted this to sound like. He added the extra acoustic layer and everything. I think the only real like creative thing I really added to this was I went to Connor and said, hey, I want the main like those open chords played on an electric guitar through a warm amp on a neck pickup.
Oh
I want
wow.
just a little bit of gain on it. I don't want it to be an acoustic. I want it to be a warm electric guitar. That's the only thing I knew I wanted. And he said, yeah, absolutely. I see what you're going for. Let's do it. And you got the product you hear today. It went from this demo I recorded 5 years ago to being the last song on my album that I released last month. And it's kind of wild, where music takes you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, certainly. And I think it's like, as Dan eloquently put, I think it's a full circle kind of moment to, encompass the record. Like when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, this has, you could hear certain other vibes from, other songs off the record. And, not that was, I don't think the intention of it initially, but just to kind of like tie everything together, it just felt like, literally no pun intended, it felt like, a harmonic kind of thing where like, all of the songs work together, and then the last song really just, brings everything home. So I thought that was really, again, smart, track listing, and as well as just, thinking about not only just a song, but like collectively on the record, where is it gonna like, how is this gonna pull everything together? So
And to your point, like you said that like you can hear bits of all of the songs in that song, but I think subconsciously, since harmony was done first, we extrapolated outward. So it
Sure.
was like It was like, oh, like this synth sounded really cool on this track. What if we try it here?
Mhm.
It wasn't like an outward conversation that we had, but it was probably just in the ether somewhere while we were doing it. And yeah, it was cool. And I think what else was really cool was we got to play this one live.
Nice.
We
And it was
entered-
awesome. It felt
It
really
was
good.
really sick. So we played Afterlife going in. Well, Chris played Afterlife going in, just the chorus. And then we rolled that chord faded out, and this came in. And we just had our friend Michelle. She played rhythm and did harmony vocals, while Chris sang and did the lead guitar part. We had drums enter halfway through the second verse, and then we did like a full band chorus to bring the song home. To kind of bring it that like like when bands will play like half a song acoustic live, and then the whole band will come back out and something vaguely similar to that. With more beeps and bloops, but yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. I definitely want to play Harmony Live again, but again, it's like Search Without Sight, where like there's a time and a place.
Sure, certainly.
Read the room.
Read the room, Dan. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
This one feels like one of those ones that again has to be seen live. So I'll be waiting for that time again when it comes around. But overall, if I had to kind of tier list my songs out, I'd probably say my top favorites were, obviously All's Ends is number 1. I would say Hung Up is number 2. And I'm going to say Search Without Sight was my third favorite one. If I had to kind of round out my top 3, that's the ones I would go with. That one, those feel kind of like, I had 2 like real hype songs, and then I got one that just kind of bring everything home in that aspect. But, really, enjoyed talking with you guys about this record. Guys, you can go pick it up in the links in the description. Please go support Highwind. I'm very excited that I got to experience this with you guys as a first-hand basis for I would say
we got to see you react to this, and we got to see your first impression of the record. It's really cool to see someone react to the record in real time.
Yeah, certainly. So guys, most importantly, tell them where they can find you at on the social media, what you guys have coming up in the up and coming future, and anything else you guys want to plug or talk about currently.
www.highwindband.net is the place you can find everything. Obviously, we are on social media, like Instagram is HighwindNJ, Twitter is HighwindBandNJ, the TikTok that I need to start using more is HighwindNJ. Yeah, we're on the internet. We want to make friends. We like talking to y'all, so please find us on the socials, find the website, interact with us. Music is on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, wherever you feel like streaming music, it is there. We try to make this album accessible for everyone because we believe that this album has something for everyone on it. So
sure.
Cool, and then we have we got the gigs coming up. Marlton, New Jersey, at the Music Rec Center or the Music Training Center. I don't know the name of it, but it's Night Fest. We're playing with our homies in Wave Break.
Ooh,
and then
nice.
August 1st at the Chubby Pickle in the Highlands, also with Wave Break and Keep Your Secrets. And then August 3rd in Philly at the Pharmacy with Keep Your Secrets, and I can see the flyer, but I can't remember the other bands.
Some Ghosts and Kinda Alright.
There it is. He's on it. My guy.
I got you.
My man. And then maybe a little secret surprise.
Ooh.
Little number 9 with extra dip coming your way.
Next
this
month, maybe?
Yeah, this month, next month. It feels like July already.
Yeah, it does feel like July already.
Yeah,
really
yeah. I'm just gonna say, keep your eyes peeled on Alt TV. Might have a little something coming your way.
Just maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There he did. He peeled them right in front of us. He took 2 eyes off. I can say that because I have glasses and I'm a four-eyed nerd.
We both are.
Anything else, Chris? Anything else? Couple, just if you get on the socials, you'll find where we're gonna be in the fall. It's gonna be sick. And tell us what songs you like. Tell us what songs you want to hear.
Like I said, we're
pretty-
always looking to talk to all of you. We're always looking to make some friends over the internet. So please, like, if you want to talk to us, socials are there. Please interact with us. We love meeting new people and making new friends. So please, we're always down to chat and hang.
Yeah. And
There
dude,
we-
thank you for having us, man. Like, it's cool. Twice in one cycle.
Twice in
Legendary.
one cycle. This is a legendary thing. Want to give a shout outs to Abby. She was the one who has gone through the trouble of getting all this set up. So much
Blessed.
love to her. I don't remember if I gave her a shout out in the interview. So this is my time to redeem myself.
Double shout out.
Double shout out. So go give Abby some love. But if you love Highwind as much as I do, links will be below to go pick up some stuff, whether it be merch and album, tour, whatever you think of. It's gonna
Whole
be
9
there.
yards.
Go see them, especially if you live in the tri-state area. Great people, but even better musicians. So go give them some
thank you.
love. If you enjoyed this, thank you for joining us. If you joined us live, if you're watching this after the fact, I still love you just as much. So please, thank you for watching. If you do like this, share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. And huge thanks to Dan and Chris for coming on again. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us, dude. It means the world.
Love you, dog.
All right, guys.